Have you dreamed of starting your own business? My next guest is America's most trusted network marketing coach. Ray Jernukian is the creator of the Success Now home business system, and he teaches you how to start and succeed in your home-based business. It's a startling statistic that 97% of home-based businesses, especially ones that involve direct marketing, actually fail. So for those of you who are dreaming of starting your own business, unfortunately, the odds are against you. Well, my guest today, Ray Jernukian, is an expert on this very topic, and he's here to help all of you turn that home-based business into a startling success. Ray, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kristen. It's a pleasure.
Ray, tell me about this stat. It's quite unnerving.
And it's really not even what I consider to be the truth. They say 97% fail. Here's the reality, in my opinion. 99% fail.
Wow.
They give a 2% cushion, and they say the people that actually make their money back in their business are that 2%. Kristen, I'm an entrepreneur. I've started 8, 10, 12 companies. I have never started a business in my life with the intention of breaking even. So I don't consider that successful. To me, it's the 1%, the people that really do achieve what they started out for. They get the dream lifestyle that this really does afford people. And I don't think it should be a deterrent, because for the average person, this is an incredible way to change your life. I mean, when I got started in this, my wife was a dental hygienist. She cleaned teeth for a living. That's all she knew. She had never sold anything. I was a machinist, a skilled tradesman in the auto industry. I didn't know anything about business, but we persevered. We did what we had to do. We pushed. It took 2, 3, 4 years, but really in a matter of 24 months, we had my wife retired. She was home full-time with the kids. 2 years after that, I was retired full-time into my business. Now we're living the life. So it was a journey. There was a few bumps and bruises, but it was definitely worth it in the long run.
You know, what you're talking about is so much of the America dream, to go from an employee to an entrepreneur. But how do you start that journey?
The starting point is the biggest 3-letter word in the world, and that is why. Mm-hmm. You need to know why you want to become successful. What independence are you looking for, and why do you want it, more importantly? So many people want to know how to be successful. Until you know why you want to be successful, how doesn't matter. You're never going to have the perseverance, the wherewithal to learn what you have to learn, to move forward into your business, to take the bumps and bruises that, listen, if you're an entrepreneur, there's going to be bumps and bruises. You've got to know why. You've got to have that burning desire and something bigger than yourself to really drive you.
So there's so many kinds of home-based businesses out there. Let's just go over a few of them.
Okay. There's top-tier direct sales companies. There's multi-level marketing. You can do info marketing. You could be an affiliate marketer, basically putting somebody else's product out there and earning commissions, all of which are great avenues. And I found, okay, there's thousands and thousands of companies out there, and like anything, there's good companies and bad companies. I think the people who find success the easiest are the ones who plug into something that they're passionate about. Mm-hmm. If you're into health and wellness, get into a health and wellness company. If you're into personal development or travel, whatever the case may be, find your passion and pursue it, because that's going to help keep you motivated.
So when we're talking about home-based businesses, I mean, I think about someone who is making jewelry, or I think of someone who is involved in some kind of a consulting business, just like running a website construction company. But what you're talking about also is this multitude of products and services that are out there that are already organized, that somebody believes that they can just purchase the president's package and put themselves into business.
And your thought there was fair, because those are, and actually I've done those, the little arts and crafts, and I'm a coach now, so I am in a consultant type of a situation today. But what we're talking about is getting into a business where the platform's done, the websites are up, everything's together, you've got your sales, your products are already created, so you don't have to go through all of that. Now, however, here's a critical mistake.
Yeah, I was going to say, from the surface, it looks perfect.
Yes, it does. However, when you're in a company like, we'll take the first network marketing company I ever got into. There were 65,000 representatives in this business.
Wow.
Which means there were 65,000 people that had the exact same website I had. Right. How do you get out of the crowd? Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to step up. Branding. Make it about you. Common mistake. Your company, you say, okay, I'm in a business. This is my company. No, it's not your company. 2 people, 3 people, 1 person founded this company that you have become a distributor for. It's their company. It's your business. It's one of your income streams. It might be your primary income stream. But make no mistake about it, it is not your company. Your company is you, Inc. So I always recommend brand you. Start yourname.com or find a business entity name, something that works for you, that, like Take You to the Top Coaching's my company. That's what I brand. So make it your company and brand yourself around your opportunity. Because we never know. I was in 5, 6, 7, 8 different network marketing companies before Lisa and I really crashed and had our success, and we've been through a couple of more since then before I retired and went into coaching. That being said, you don't know how long you're going to be with the company. You can get in there floating on the dream cloud that this is it, man, this is where I'm going to make it, and then 6 months, a year later, it doesn't happen. Something changes in the company's compensation plan, again, because it's not our business. They can change things when they want to. All of a sudden, you're moving on looking for something new.
So this is a great point here. Why does it look so shiny? I mean, it looks like they give you all the tools to be successful. I mean, gorgeous website, state-of-the-art distribution. You get to go to the big conferences. People are winning cars and trips. Where's the disconnect?
For the better part, it's a lack of training, leadership, and a duplicatable system. You need to be the leader. It's great that you attracted to somebody, and let's face it, people aren't out there looking for opportunities, they're looking for leadership, somebody that can teach them how to become successful. So if they find your website, and you look cookie cutter, you're like everybody else out there promoting this business, why would somebody put their faith in you and think, all right, this is the man or woman that can lead me to success when you look just like the other 4,000 people they saw? You've got to do something to establish yourself as an expert and separate yourself from that crowd.
So give us some pointers, like how do you brand yourself personally as the expert in whatever it is you're distributing?
I love videos. I think that's the best, fastest, most powerful way to separate yourself from the crowd. Consistency, cohesion, pick your colors. What's your color scheme going to be for your company? Whatever it is, pick it and do some work, because there's a lot of psychology behind colors. What people see looking at a blue or a red or a green, what it means to people. So
I did hear a little point about that. I heard that the robin egg blue is the absolute best color to have on a website.
Blue, period. And here's really the separation. Blue promotes trust, security, and happiness, fun. But where it really splits is like a lighter blue looks a lot more fun. It's going to be a lot more entertaining, or when you get into a darker blue, that shows more trust and security. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for a fun look? Like if I'm in a travel company, maybe fun's more important to me. Or as myself, like as a coach, I want the darker blue. I want people to see the trust and feel the security. So do that.
So pick your colors and make a lot of videos.
A lot of videos.
What do you say inside these videos?
Videos can be brief. Really, the first thing you always start off with in a video, first 10 seconds, your name, what the video's about, and most importantly, how is it going to help the person watching it? People's attention spans, I'm sorry, are abysmal. And when you get online, they're even worse. You've got 6 to 8 seconds to grab somebody and hold them, or they're gone.
Right.
So how are you going to help them? Because that's what's going to keep them there.
And I've also learned a really powerful way to do that is to ask a question. So to start your video off with a question that captures people's attentions, and then go into who you are and what you have to offer them.
That's a great point as well. And you give them maybe 2 minutes of content, again, teaching them what you said you were going to help them with.
Right.
And never, ever, ever forget the most important part of all at the end of the video, your call to action. What do you want them to do? Don't ever assume your prospect knows what's supposed to happen next. You want them to go to your website. Do you want them to send you an email, pick up the phone and call you? Whatever the case may be, make sure that's how you close your video powerfully. That's how I've always done it. There's a link to my website. Click it. Again, my name is Jernukian. Have an incredible day. You absolutely deserve it. However you want to wrap it up, but send them somewhere. Tell them what you want them to do that is so critical.
I know, I think it's interesting because when we do our home-based business, we get excited about setting it up, ordering the business cards, putting our picture on the website, all these things, but we forget the most important part is actually telling people that we're in business and how to do business with us and what our packages are and things like that.
Exactly, and be very, again, I think the cohesion, making sure everything is consistent, you want to keep a flow going. So if your colors are, whatever, blue and gold, and you set up a website in blue and gold, make sure your blog is blue and gold. If you have a suit and a tie on in one picture, make sure your website, your Facebook page, your Twitter account, you're the same look. It doesn't have to be the same picture.
Can't
same
put on
shirt,
that sports
same tie,
jersey.
same jacket. If you're wearing something casual, wear the same casual look because, all right, somebody goes to your website and they connect with you. Whatever it was, something about you attracts them, right? So now all of a sudden they're like, oh, here's a link to their YouTube channel. So they click it and they go to your YouTube channel, all of a sudden the look changes, the feel changes, the message changes, you lost them. You don't want to do that. They were attracted to something about you, so make sure when you move them from one place to another, they land with the exact same picture, same feel, same message.
Yeah, it's amazing how important consistency is when you are running a business because people decide if they can trust you based on that consistent message. I think today people are taking longer to make decisions. Do you find this to be true?
Yes, but here's the trick to it. If you keep the cohesion, you speed up the process.
Wow.
Because they keep seeing that same message over and over again. And just like you said, you establish that rapport, that bond. It's funny. I've had so many people that call me back when I was still working full-time in network marketing. I'd pick up a call, I'd answer the phone, hello, this is Ray. And they would be like, is this Ray Jernukian? Yes, it is. I mean, the guy I was watching on the video? Yeah, it's me. You answered the phone? I mean, they're talking to a rock star, and I'm like, my God. And this was like 2 years in, 3 years in, when we were still struggling. We hadn't hit where we're at right now, and I'm thinking, man, I just barely paid my gas bill. And you're excited to talk to me, but that's the kind of feel they need to have.
Right.
You need to make them feel like you are it, because that's why they want you. They're looking for the leader.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the whole idea of mindset. I mean, where does your mind need to be when you're starting your own business?
And again, it goes back to the first question you asked me, why are you doing this? If you really know why you're doing it, you'll be confident in yourself. It'll help you sustain, but you need to be confident. You need to see yourself as a leader. And if you're at a point in time maybe in your life where you're like, well, how am I going to lead? I don't know anything yet. Personal development, it's time to plug in. Take some classes, go get some courses, hire a coach. If you're not in a financial position where you can afford to, go to YouTube.
Right.
Start looking through the speakers. You can pick up thousands and thousands of 2, 3, 4, 5 minute videos that will really help you learn how to think on a positive note. That's how I did it in the beginning.
You raise such a valuable point is that our mindset and our confidence and actually our energy is what people pick up on. It's not even necessarily the words that we say, it's what is that energy that we're projecting out to the people that we want to do business with.
It is. Another good tip, your atmosphere, is it conducive to success?
Yeah.
Are you in your own little isolated area, so it's a business atmosphere, or are you sitting at the kitchen table with 3 kids running around behind you screaming and hollering and yelling?
In your pajamas.
Yeah, listen, they give you that illusion of, okay, when you're full-time in network marketing, you can get up, sit there in your bathrobe, drinking a cup, and you can, but is that really the professional way to do it? Do you really feel like you're in a mode that you're ready to help people change their lives if you're sitting there in a bathrobe? Be professional. Get up, take a shower, have breakfast, get dressed, just like you were going to work, because we have an amazing career, and your whole function in life is to help other people change their lives. When you get that from here to here and you really start to live it, that's when the excitement comes in, and that's when you really will start making money. If it's about you,
I know, Ray, as an entrepreneur myself, that I work longer hours and more time as an entrepreneur than I ever did when I was working for someone else.
yes.
And I've heard this said before, and I know that it's true just for myself and my own experiences, that if you're not putting that full 30 to 40 hours a week when you're building something up and sustaining it, that you're probably not invested enough in what you're doing. Do you agree with that or disagree with that?
I do agree. The more you can put into it, especially in the beginning, the faster you're going to hit your end goal. Realistically, can you do, like, okay, when I first got in, I was in a machine shop working 70, 75 hours a week, 7 days a week. So did I have 30 hours a week, especially with a wife and 2 kids? No, I didn't have 40 hours a week to dedicate. But I made sure I isolated 2 hours a day, an hour a day, whatever I could afford to invest in my business. And when I did, whatever that time is, make sure it gets 100% of your focus. Nothing else matters at that exact point in time.
You know, I mean, but we've seen these books, you know, about the couple hours a week that you can work and you could be running your business from a beach. Is that a reality, and at what point does that become, you know, the foundation of your success?
It is absolutely a reality. It can be. I've done it. I've got pictures of us prospecting on the beach, working 2-3 hours a week. Very realistic. It can happen. Happened for us. Is it going to happen your first year in business? No. No. You've got to work up to that. You've got to get a team built to where you've got a strong passive income coming in. You've got leaders established out there that are now building a solid business. So you can take your foot off the gas if you choose, or continue to build if you choose, and support the leadership on your team. So is that 2, 3, 4 hour work week realistic? Absolutely it is, but you've got to do the work up front to get there.
So tell me a little bit more, because I mean, it sounds daunting. I mean, like, you know, the statistics are against us, you know, we have to work a lot of hours. Is it worth it? I mean, is it worth it to go into this path of being an entrepreneur, you know, using one of these systems?
Absolutely, yes, in my personal opinion. And I'll share a personal story with you, and this is something that happened to me. And I always had a dream that when it was time for me to go full-time into my business, I was going to be able to walk into my boss's office, kick my feet up on the desk, and say, my friend, I'm sorry, but I just can't fit you into my schedule anymore.
Right.
That was my exit. I didn't get to live that because I actually got laid off.
Wow.
And you know, they called me into the office. Everybody in the shop knew it was coming because of what was happening. And I walked out the door after they laid me off. There was about 20 of us. And it was all the way across the building to the time clock. So you've got this, right? Everybody's got their head down. They're like, oh my God, what am I going to tell my wife? Our money's gone, this and that. And I started out the same way. But what changed me was when I got halfway across the shop, all of a sudden my head was up. I was smiling from ear to ear. Everybody thought I was nuts because
like,
it dawned on me. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm good.
This was my fantasy.
Yeah, plan B just went to plan A. I'm there. I've already got a business established. We were making pretty good money at the time. This is it. I'm blowing the bridge up. I'm not burning. I'm never coming back.
Right.
And that was the last day I ever hit a time clock. That was the last day I ever worked for anybody but me. So is it worth it? Yeah.
You know, and this is such an important point because there's so many people in this country right now and around the world who are not employed, who've been laid off, who are trying to figure it out, you know, for when it's the holidays, when there's birthdays, when there's events in our families, you know, it's like financial pressures. They're trying to figure it out, and it's hard to crack that code.
It is, and it comes down to leadership, coaching, and again, you want to get yourself out of the crowd and get your business into the spotlight. You need to be the expert. Take matters into your own hands. Hire a coach. We had to. When we started in the business, on day 3, the person that sponsored us into the company quit.
Day 3.
Day 3. And then 2 months later, because again, Lisa and I were stubborn, we weren't willing to give up, we had signed some people into the business. We were starting to build it, that we weren't killing anything, but we were doing business. And then 2 months later, the person that signed her into the business called and she's like, hey, you guys are doing it, so I want to help you. Well, she did help us. And she got a hold of our credit card and stole $9,000 from us. So now at this point, here we are 3 days in, our sponsor quits, the next one rips us off for $8,000, so who do we trust? We still really didn't know what we were doing. We went out and got outside coaching. I hired a coach. I started plugging into other people's leadership calls. I took matters into my own hands. Lisa took matters into her own. We learned how to do the business from people that had done it.
Right. So it sounds to me like the most important thing is when you are embracing being an entrepreneur and building it to that level where you can run your business from a beach, that you need mentoring and coaching.
Yes.
You need a clear brand.
Clear,
about
concise.
you personally.
Yes.
And you need to have it be a consistent brand over every place that you show up.
Absolutely. And here's where consistency makes a big difference. Here's where a lot of people drop the ball. they will try to do follow-up with a lead.
Right.
And maybe they do 2 or 3, and they stop. It takes the average person's 7 exposures to your business before they will buy from you.
Right.
That's 7. Well, if you stop at 2 or 3, what happens? You lost. But now, take this into account. Now you've got an online presence, you've got a solid brand, somebody taught you how to do it correctly, so you kept everything flowing. So now you attract somebody. They go from your website, they go to your Facebook page. That's your second exposure. You've connected with them. Now maybe they go to your YouTube channel. They watch 3 or 4 of your videos, there's 4 more exposures. You're at 6. You haven't even talked to them yet.
Right.
Okay, so now that consistency, you can actually go from 0 to 7 in 60 minutes.
Before they get on the phone.
While you're eating dinner.
Right.
You know, and get the phone call, and I've had so many of these that, hey Ray, I just signed up, I'm on your team, what do I do? You did? And I've got to look in the back office to,
right.
Oh yeah, they're there, okay,
there
good deal,
are.
all right,
Great.
let's do it. Here's
Nice
the Team
to meet
Training
you.
Center.
Right.
And that's the next step. How do you get your life back once you actually build this up? Make sure you have something set up to automate the training process for your team.
So to anyone out there who has been running one of these businesses for a while and they're just not putting it all together in a way that's successful for them, beyond breaking even, so to
Right.
speak, what would you say to them just to kind of turn it around starting today?
Starting today, start with the foundation. Make sure you know why you want to do this. Take a look at your brand. Is it really a brand or is it scattered? If it's scattered and you have to rebrand, then start from the floor up and do it. It's so important. Personal development. Start reading books, watching videos, however it is you best absorb information. Some people swear by books. Me, I do better on videos. Not that I don't read, but I love videos. So find your forte. Where do you best absorb information? Absorb. Turn yourself into a sponge. If you're learning, you're growing. If you're not, you're dying. It's just that simple.
I mean, let's face it, Ray, it can be scary to be an entrepreneur.
It can. And it does hold a lot of people back. Scarcity is a word that can cripple people. And I think a lot of times it is because maybe they don't know, or they feel to themselves, you know, who am I to call somebody up and pitch them on this opportunity and say, woohoo, you know, you're going to make 6 figures a month and retire, and I haven't even cashed a check. Well, listen, if you've got that mindset, you'll never cash a check. Be the leader. Know where you're going with your life and don't live in fear.
You know, and I think about that too, especially if you're used to working for someone else. You've been an employee, and suddenly now you find yourself in your own business, and you look at that phone, and you're like, oh God, I have to pick up the phone.
Weighs 400 pounds.
You know, and call somebody and ask them for money. And it just can feel like, I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll do that tomorrow. How do you overcome that?
First of all, put yourself in the position that you understand why you're doing what you're doing. You've got to know that you're doing this to help other people. That's point one. And best tip I can give people for that, before you pick up the phone, make this statement. Make this one simple statement. How can I help this person change their life? If you don't truly believe in what you're doing, I mean right here, believe in what you're doing.
Why would somebody else?
Why would somebody else, exactly.
Right. So, Ray, I understand that you are an incredible coach on this very topic. Tell me about your products and services.
Well, I've got quite a few products out there to help people learn how to do the basics of marketing. I've got a system called the Success Now Home Business System, which is really A to Z, how to run a company, how to get it up the hill, over the hill, and what to do when it's launched. And
Coasting.
You're going insane, how to get your life back. And I like to go through this, especially even on a one-on-one mentorship, because now you've got somebody there to really help you plug in the pieces. That's really what Take You to the Top coaching is all about.
And at what point in your business do you start with a coach like you?
Well, I wish I would have done it on day one, because it would have saved us months and months and months of spinning around in mediocrity, not knowing what to do, wasting financial resources that we didn't have to waste, making mistakes, throwing the proverbial dart at the wall and hoping I land on a bullseye. Day one is the best day to start. If you didn't do it on day one, day two is a good day. And
what about someone who's owned a business like this for a while and they're just not getting the results?
Right, those are the people I love, because now you've got somebody maybe they've been in network marketing or whatever the deal is for 6 months, a year, 2 years. They've had a little bit of success, but they've never really been able to dot I's, cross T's, and put it all together. But they're in now. They're into the business. They know that's the way out. They need somebody to help them. those are the best people to work with because they're in. It's not a fly-by-night situation where they're going to quit in 2 weeks or, so I know they're lifers at that point. Those are the people I love working with.
Absolutely. Ray Jernukian, thank you so much for helping all of us go from employee to entrepreneur.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you.